What up guys, JP back at you once again, bringing you guys a new video series. This is The Top Shelf, a look at rare, hard to find, valuable, out of print DVDs and Blu-rays. I was inspired to make this video series off of two channels. One, Frank Einstein, who was the first to do this. I've seen these type of videos before, but he was the one that inspired me to make one. It's a very recent video. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description down below. I've been watching this guy a few years, very hilarious. Watch his FYE bullshit video as well. That was very entertaining. The second person is Jesse Midnight Crawler. I'm sure you guys all know him. He's been around forever, but I will leave his link in the description down below as well. Basically what they did is just show off titles in their collection that are out of print or rare or expensive, hard to find, valuable, all that good stuff. I was like, dude, I want to do this, and then I started looking at my collection. I'm like, I really don't have that many that are super expensive, you know, super valuable. And then I thought, well, at least I can make this video informative even if the titles that I'm showing aren't super valuable. So that's kind of what I'm going to do here. Basically, I'm just going to show you guys, I mean, some of them are valuable, but for the most part, a lot of the titles that I'm going to be showing are just out of print. Now, out of print titles doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to explode in price right off the bat. Basically, out of print just means that they are no longer pressing up copies. So what I'm going to show you guys is hopefully, you know, I show you something that you didn't know was out of print, and then you can get a copy before it becomes ridiculous expensive. And of course, I have titles that are expensive already, so we'll have a mixture of stuff in there. This episode I'm showing 5 titles, and first up, the first one isn't that out of print yet. Well, that's kind of a weird way to say it, because it is out of print. They're no longer pressing copies. It's just not in high demand yet. So the film is an MGM release, which I will put a little disclaimer here. MGM has known to license off their vault titles, so it is high probability that this will eventually get a re-release. So I wouldn't pay crazy money for it. Luckily, it's not really crazy expensive right now. The title is The Day After. I have not seen this film yet, but I hear it's a TV movie about the end of the world, post-apocalyptic. I hear it's actually really good and depressing. Brandon, a friend of the podcast, actually called in and told us about it one time, and I just so happened to see it a few weeks later for super cheap. This title goes for about $55 new. As you can see, this is not a new copy, but it is in very good condition, like new condition, besides a little scuff mark at the top. The disc is great. You can get this one super cheap. Used, it usually runs about $3 to $5. So right away you can still grab this one relatively easy, and I do recommend doing it because this title is out of print and eventually it will become very expensive and unaffordable to grab. So that is one of the titles that, yes, it is out of print, it is expensive new. And, you know, anytime you see that price, you know, $50 for a new DVD, you know that the reason that that is that high is because the title is out of print. There are other ways of finding out if a title is out of print as well. I'm not going to go into them right now, but they are out there for you to see. So this is a title that I do recommend picking up based on the probability of it becoming more rare and expensive. So yeah, I wish I could comment on the actual film. I haven't seen it though. Next up is a title that I believe one of the main reasons that it has not gotten super expensive yet is just because it's a bad movie and not really anybody wants it. So that is Creepshow 3. This is actually out of print, but you can still grab it new for about $16. I'm using Amazon for these prices, by the way. The last time I checked, you can get this one for about 16 bucks new and about 13 used. $13 used is a little expensive. I'm sure on eBay you can find it cheaper than that. But this is a title that is out of print. It's actually been out of print for a while now. It's just nobody wants it. So it's a title that is still relatively easy to get. But I do remember you used to be able to get this for about $5.99 on Amazon. So the price is slowly moving up. If you want to complete your Creepshow collection, probably now's a better time than putting it off because it will just get more expensive, and I doubt anybody will re-release this film anytime soon. It is by HBO Video, which also is not a good sign for you know, staying in print. That is Creepshow 3. The next one here is actually one that I'm surprised is sort of out of print, and that is American Gothic. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised considering it is kind of an obscure film and it is released by Trinity, which is, what have they done? American Gothic, this one runs you about $35 new and about $14 used. So it is steadily increasing in price. That $14 used, you can probably find it cheaper on eBay or another outlet, but it's only going to get more expensive. This is a cool, weird, obscure movie too. Not many people talk about it. It's kind of an oddball film. I like it a lot. I do recommend picking it up if you can find it cheaply. It's only going to get more expensive, so I think now's the time to really grab it. It's American Gothic. After that, we have one that actually is like fully out of print and expensive to get, even used, and that is Bug. This one is released by Paramount, and this is a really cool movie about exploding cockroaches, and any fan of insect horror should have it in their collection. This one's going to run you about $35 on Amazon, new or used. Doesn't matter. You can get it for both new and used for about that price, which is a little ridiculous, honestly. That's definitely not worth that. But if you can find this one somewhere cheap, definitely grab it because it is out of print. And I can't really see this one getting a release anytime soon. But you never know. Maybe a company like Vinegar Syndrome or something could get a hold of this. Olive Films is another one that I think releases Paramount titles, so it might get a Blu-ray release from the 70s, worth picking up if you can find it cheap enough. Definitely don't recommend spending $35. And this next one is probably the best film out of these five here, and it is out of print. It is an old school Anchor Bay title. I don't know why this film has not had a re-release, and that is Cemetery Man, or De la Morte de l'Amor. This one is going to run you about $73 new, but you can still get it for right over $20 used. I would never pay $21 for a used DVD ever. I barely like paying over $20 for a Blu-ray that's new. So that's something that I wouldn't buy, but I do know that it is a really good movie. It's literally like a 9.5 or a 10 out of 10. I absolutely love this film. It blew me away. Such an interesting concept, and it makes you think a lot. So if you're willing to pony up and spend the $21, it's definitely a film that's worth that type of money if you're somebody who spends that type of money. But if you can find it cheap, definitely pick up Cemetery Man. Cemetery Man, actually, I'm surprised that it's only $21 because it is kind of a sought after film. A lot of people are looking for it. I gotta thank Zach for picking me up a copy. A couple months ago, I seen 3 or 4 copies going for like $7 on this website, and I told some people about it, and they scooped them up real quick. But yeah, that is Cemetery Man. Awesome title there. Thanks once again for watching, guys, and thanks Jesse and Frank Einstein for making those videos and inspiring me. Mine's a little bit different. Like I said, I don't really have a lot of valuable stuff in my collection, which actually, when I was like thinking about it, I was like, what the fuck? Like, that kind of pisses me off a little bit. Everybody got these super rare $60 eBay titles, and I got these like, well, this one kind of goes for like $5 still. Ridiculous. So I do actually have a little bit more rare stuff as I move through, but I haven't got to it yet. But stay tuned, guys. Peace out.